All right, rock stars. I have a lot I want to talk about tonight. I have a lot that's been kind of sitting there in my head, jumbled up, needing to come out, needing to be organized and come out. So, um, many of you know that I recently got my real estate license. And so I'm really excited about that. And uh, for me, I think with this, it's a dream that I had a long time ago that it just kind of like went away because there just was so much going on and I just didn't find the time to do it. And it's just something that I really wanted to do for a long time. So It Works has opened up the opportunity and given me the finances to be able to, start my business, because as most of you know, there aren't very many businesses out there you can start for $100, right? And so, starting in real estate was an investment. I mean, a couple $1,000s, and I haven't seen anything yet, so a couple thousand for between classes and getting my license and signing up for MLS and all this stuff that I have to get signed up for, and all this money that I got to put out just to get started, right? But it was something that was, on my dream board a long time ago before I even started It Works, and It Works has given me the freedom and flexibility to venture back out to it. And really, it's crazy because I'm doing a lot of the same things with It Works that I would be doing in real estate. So when I started searching for a company that I wanted to be with, I really wanted it to be in line with It Works mottos and how It Works stands. Like, I wanted it to be very much in line with being a networker. None of us want to be a salesperson. Now, we are in a sales industry, so if you don't sell anything, you don't make anything. But I don't want to be in an industry where you're just dialing for dollars. I want to be in an industry where I'm trying to help people change their lives. And so I was looking for a company that lined up with It Works. And this lined up perfectly, so much so that I went to my orientation on last Monday, and I felt like I could be training the class. Literally, I felt like he was taking words right out of my mouth. My head was my neck was sore because the whole time I was literally like this the whole time because I was vibing with him, the things he was saying. So, but there were a few things that really opened my eyes. And so I want to go over them with you. And they're things that I know and we do and we utilize, but things that maybe I just have forgotten about. Okay, so first of all, one of the things they started off with by saying was, there is some not so good news in this business. And I'm like, okay, what? And he's like, 80% of you that are sitting in this room right now won't be here in a couple months. And I want you to sit there and think about that with your It Works business. When you bring somebody on, 80% of the people that you bring on are not going to be there in a couple months. And it has nothing to do with you. Okay? So we take this personally. We internalize this. And, it's nothing that we did or didn't do. But people are looking for get-rich-quick schemes. And I think sometimes we are being drawn to that, right? So we're being drawn to people that are going to sign up quick because they want to get rich quick and they just want this. And that's not going to happen. Now, granted, did I make a $10,000 bonus in 3 months? Yes, I did. Did we make a couple grand our first 2 months in business? Yes, we did. But we were hungry. We were so hungry. We just went out there and gave it our all, 110%, even though that's impossible. It was possible because we did it. And so I want you to think about that. When you sign somebody up, there are some things, and this is literally what I'm going to go over with you guys. There's some things that you can set them up to be successful. It Works gives you the 3 steps to success. They do that each month. They're going to sign up or run their ADBV auto shipment. They're going to find 3 distributors. They're going to find 4 loyal customers. Okay, so those are our steps to success. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Here's the thing. 80% of the people that you sign up are not going to do that. So that's one of the things that you have to set yourself up for from the beginning. I will tell you that when we first started in this business, our ratios were much higher than that. We had well, I guess depending on which way you're looking at it, we had way more than 20% of the people that we signed staying on for longer than 3 months. So, and it has nothing to do with our industry. The real estate industry is the same way. When you come in, people are coming in, they've worked for someone their entire life in most cases, and they're not used to having to make their own schedule and be their own boss. They're not used to it. They're not ready for it. They cannot comprehend it. There is no gene. And Pam Souter said this before, they do not have the gene for it, okay? It has nothing to do with you in most cases. As soon as you start opening your mouth about this business and you start communicating with people, you are a leader, okay? Your success is entirely up to you. You're going to have people tell you no. You're going to have people tell you you're crazy, but that is okay. The only way that you won't be successful in this business is if you quit. There have been some of the top money earners in this company, 2 of them that I know for a fact did not sign a single person in their first 6 months of business. First 6 months, nothing. Whether one of them tried, but she was dabbling, and the other one quit 3 times before she actually signed up a 3rd time and really ran her business. And I don't remember if it was the 3rd time that it still took her 6 months or if it was 6 months. I don't remember, but that's just insane to me. You sign up for this opportunity, somebody gets in your ear, or you get in your own head and you get in your own way. Okay, so remember that when you're bringing people on. Make things simple, duplicatable, make it as easy as possible for people, but they need to understand it's a business. And I think that's one thing for me personally that I need to work on as a leader and as someone in this company is making sure that I remind people that this is a business and it needs to be worked. I think I got to the point where I was attracting, for whatever reason, people that wanted a get-rich-quick scheme, and it wasn't happening as a get-rich-quick scheme because that's not what this is, okay? So you can get rich quick, but you got to be working it, all right? Okay, so the not-so-good news was that the average realtor in Orlando makes $37,000 a year, okay? That's average. So that means that most people are making $37,000 a year or less in real estate. And when you think real estate, you're thinking, all right, I'm going to just start making some money, right? Well, that wasn't the case for the average person. And so they literally broke it down in ways that we could figure out what we needed to do each month to hit the number that we put out there. So before we get off here, I'm going to have you guys write down a number, whatever your annual goal number needs to be, and then we're going to go over a few things. But I want to flip through this first, finish the recording a little bit, and then we can kind of open up for discussion towards the end. Okay, so first they opened our eyes to remind us that not everybody's going to be successful in this, because they will either quit, they won't do anything with it, they'll get frustrated, or they will be successful, okay? And so when you look at the company as a whole, you see the ratio, and I don't know what the numbers are, but there is a couple hundred ambassadors and probably 1,000 presidentials and a couple thousand triple diamonds and above. So that's the VIP level of this company. So you're looking at probably 3,000 people or less, maybe a little bit more, are triple diamond and above in this company. And so let's just go with the number 5,000. I don't know what the numbers are, but let's go with the number 5,000 are triple diamond and above. We are still in a very, very, very huge growth market for this company, and there is room for everybody at the top. Not everybody will get there, and I think that that's what everybody sees. If they see this income chart and they want to be up here, but they want to be at this presidential ambassador level, but they want to do executive work. You know, that's not the case. So I'm going to go over a few things that really, really excited me and really got me thinking about my It Works life. I felt like I was like stealing all their information, like I was a spy or something. Okay, so there was 11 steps that they gave us. It's this little sheet right here, and I really, really love it. I'm going to figure out a way to steal it and make it It Works green. and stuff. But the first one is, number one is your why. And this, as soon as I saw this, I was like, ding, 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 definitely pick the right company. Because if your why in this business does not make you cry, then you need to soul search for another one, okay? So what they said was, it must be unique and very personable, must move you to emotion, and make personal fulfillment your goal. So when we walked into the room, they had us stand up, and we didn't even know. We just introduced ourselves and explained why we were doing this. And I literally was crying when I introduced myself. And I never even shared this with Chad, but when I explained to them that I was doing this because this was a dream that my brother and I had together, and that I have the flexibility and the freedom that most people stood up and said, I want freedom, flexibility, and extra income, whatever. Mine was, I wanted to fulfill a dream that I originally had, and I really wanted to show my children that anything you put your mind to, you can do. Okay, so that my goal is to make my children better women as they grow. And so when I was explaining who I was and telling a little bit about myself, I had started choking up, and without even hearing number one yet. And so it was really cool because he mentioned, this is a type of why that you should have, and it should make you cry. So why is your first one? And another thing that they did that I thought was very, very interesting is they give you a coach. They have 10 realtors coming on per office a week. There are probably, I think there's 50 offices in Florida. So that's a lot of agents, and they give you a personalized coach, okay? So with us, your personalized coach would be the person that signed you up, will be your sponsor. And what happens is they gave us a few tasks to complete when we left there. 2 of them were to email this gentleman and email him our why and email him our brand. And we had to write it down on a sheet of paper that they gave to us along with our goal. And we didn't write down our why or our brand, but we wrote down the date that we were going to send them an email. And do you know what that did for them? Now, they didn't say this, but I know as a coach what this does. It shows them who is actively ready to go. Okay, so when you bring somebody on, I think it's very important that you don't just say, go do this. You need to set expectations of when you're going to follow up with them, when you are going to help coach them, what you're going to do to help them be successful, because when they come into this business, they don't know what to do. They don't have a brain cell for it. They don't get it. And so I feel as a coach and a sponsor, that's one thing that I fell off in. As I grew in the business, it became secondhand and second nature for me. And one thing that I'm going to go back to is I'm going to make a sheet like this, and I'm going to share it with each of you, but it's going to have a couple homework pieces that they need to do and get back to me. And they get to pick the date that they give it to me. This is a business. It's a business. Whether you just want to make $500 or whether you want to make $500,000, it's a business, no matter how you look at it. And that's how it needs to be treated. So one was your why. So I sent him, I put a date on the paper, and I sent an email with my why and my brand before the time frame that I had told him I would do it. So they know that I am serious in this. Like, this is legit. I'm ready to go. They know who to spend their time on. And that's exactly what they were doing. Because as we bring people in, we can not spend 100% of our time on our new business. We need to pick times, and we're going to go over a little bit of that. Time blocking is number 8. So, all right, number 1 was your why. Number 2 is mindset. Again, like, you can't be successful in anything if you don't get your mind right, right? So let me get my mind right and figure out where I put my notes at. Okay, so mindset. What their paper said was success begins with a state of mind, and it does. What is your mindset? Are you living in a suffering state of mind or in a beautiful state of mind? And whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So do you think you can do it? I hope so, because if not, you're right. If you don't think you can do it, then you can't. If you think you can, you can. It's literally your mindset. And there's going to be people and there's going to be all kinds of things that show you and tell you you can't do this. But clearly there are people that have gone before you and blazed a path, and you need to copy and follow the right cats. Okay. So mindset. I had a little bit more notes to go along with this from church this morning. I'm like, okay, I get it, God. Like, I get it. Smack me in the face. But today at church, they gave us five things to remember. One is, and just, I'm going to go over these 5 real quick because there was a really, really important piece that I wanted to go over in here. Remember that God is your source. He created all of us to be wealth producers. Okay. So he created us to create wealth. Everything that he gives to us is his anyway. And we need to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to with it. Number 2 was to make money honestly. Here's what I found really interesting about today. Not giving a full day of work is being dishonest. That it doesn't mean like you're out there selling drugs or whatever. We kind of are drug dealers, but that's not what that means. It doesn't mean like, what they really mean is making your money honestly, is making sure that for me as a Christian, I need to be working hard because the money that I make was given to me by him and it's his, and I need to do well by it. So this is the part that really hit me, was the get rich quick scheme. When you're attracting people that want to get rich quick, and that's what I feel like I've been attracting a lot lately, they're going to drag you down. Basically, it's almost like you're looking for someone that's easily duped. So that's not what I'm about. Like, this business has completely changed my life, and I need to be helping people change their lives. So I feel like for me, one thing that I need to do is I need to start reaching up again. There are people that are in really bad situations that need this, but there's also people from the outside that look like they're doing amazing that are not doing amazing. Okay? They need something, whether it be friendship. I know this sounds cheesy, but friendship, freedom, fun. I know that sounds super cheesy, but that might be what they need. There was a woman in this business very early on under Kristen that 8 months into the business, she still didn't know what her why was. And we had a large group of people sitting in a room, and everybody was going through their why, and they were crying. And she was like the last person in the circle, and she started bawling, and she was like, this is my why. She's like, I've never been able to figure out exactly why I'm doing this, because I've never had problems with finances. I've always been in a good situation financially. My husband is an amazing man. My kids are well taken care of. She's like, I don't know why I'm doing this until now. And I'm giving myself goosebumps right now. But as it went around the circle and she heard all the devastation in these people's lives and why they were doing it, it showed her why she was doing it, because she was put on this earth to help people like those people, like myself, like herself, because even though she didn't feel like there was anything going on wrong in her life, she was missing an aspect of her life of helping people. And so it was really awesome to see that happen. The other thing that he talked about was a sense of entitlement. My generation and younger has this insane sense of entitlement. Like, you are supposed to be doing something for them all the time. Like, what do I get out of this? That is the sense of my generation and younger. And for that reason, my generation and younger is very prone to wanting to get rich quick. Okay. So I think it's very, very important that we set the expectations very early on in the business that this is a business and it needs to be run that way. It's not difficult. It's easy, but it is going to take your mind. It's going to take your focus, and it is going to take dedication. It's not going to take a whole lot of extra time if you figure out how to do it right. And by that, I mean, make it a lifestyle for yourself. Just make it work into whatever it is you're already doing. Don't go crazy. I mean, you can go out, like I said, number 8, we're going to go over time blocking. But if you go to the grocery store, you're a walking billboard, and make yourself that way. That's where most of our business came from, especially in the beginning, is doing our normal daily activities. Number 3 was planned spending. Number 4 was honor God. And number 5 was committed all to God. And so another thing that just want to share with you guys that I found really interesting is most people end up in debt because they feel they have to have more stuff. And so today's message was really powerful to me because when Chad and I first got it into this business and we started making money and we started being able to do things that we hadn't done ever, our spending habits grew. Like, we had to spend it. We got more stuff. And at this point, we're still paying for it. So you guys coming into this business, make sure that you're using what God gives you and making wise decisions, because we could have done a lot more with what he gave us. And so make wise decisions in this business, because he will provide to you and for you, but make wise decisions with it. I wish we would have done more with what he provided us. And so number 2 is mindset. You can do it, but only if you think and know you can do it. All right. Number 3 was your brand. Okay, so there's your why and there's your brand. So your brand is your identity. It is who you are. It conveys what you have to offer to prospects, buyers, and sellers. Again, make this fit, it works. Why should people do business with you instead of the other thousands of distributors out there that are available? Why should they do business with you and not somebody else? Because if you don't tell them, eventually they are going to do business with somebody else. We have amazing products. That's not changed. Nothing's changed about that. It's gotten even better. It takes people, in most cases, 7 exposures to sign up for this business or the products. And most of the time we're leading with the wraps. That's what we're taught to do. We have 30 other amazing products that might fit somebody if the wraps aren't right for them. Okay. Our wraps are a gateway drug. We live in a vain society. Let's face it. So they're a gateway drug. But remember, we have other amazing products. And one way that you can tell people about that without becoming that salesperson, without without becoming that salesperson, is by using the products. Become a product of the product. Okay, so when you say your brand, what is your brand? Your brand is your 90-second elevator pitch. If you're stuck in a room with somebody for 90 seconds, or if you got to tell somebody in 30 seconds what you do, what are you going to say to them? Your brand is really, really important. What's the difference between you and I? It doesn't matter if you have experience coming into this business. We were successful in the beginning because we knew we could do it. There wasn't anybody that told us that we couldn't. And if they did, it was more motivation. It was more fuel to our fire. If we heard that we couldn't do it or we were crazy, for me, it was more motivation to push me outside of my comfort zone, to prove to them that I can do anything that I put my mind to. And that's just the person that I am. What is your brand? Why you? Why should they choose you? When I was in banking, I hated it. And because it was sales, and most people don't realize that banking is sales. Not only were we feeing people like crazy, and if they made one little tiny mistake in their life and forgot to write something down in their checkbook, they're going to get $108 worth of fees from me. And I can't do anything except maybe refund one with my manager's approval. That's not the life. You don't mess with people's food or money or health. You just don't do it. And so here I am trying to explain to people why they should open a checking account with me. Time after time after time, I was not selling my checking account at my bank. I was selling myself, because there was no difference between my checking account and the checking account up the street. None at all. Both of the banks were going to fee you like crazy. Both of the banks could give you a free checking account until you made one little mistake, and then you owe us your life. But the difference was me. At the end of the day, you were going to get my customer service. If something happened, I was going to be the one helping you resolve it. The difference was me. So what was it about me? Proven integrity, professionalism, excitement, just becoming part of their life. That was me. I was a relationship builder. I have been from day one, and that's one of my skills. And so utilize what it is that God gave you to be successful in this life. If you are a friendly person, if you are whatever it is, work on your skills. That is what you need to use in this life because that's what God gave you. Okay? You're using what he gave you to be successful because at the end of the day, it's what he gave you and it's what he's going to give you and what you're going to be able to give back to him. So your brand, very, very important that you find out and you figure out why you. Number 4 was goal setting. And this part was very awesome to me. And I'm going to show you guys something that I thought was really cool. And I'm still working on how to figure this out in a very easy, simple way for it works because I think this could be amazing for our teams. So I want to show you something. Okay, so we have 10 minutes, so I got to talk fast. Goal setting. I hope you can see this. So what is my goal in in my real estate business? My goal with real estate, $150,000 a year. Okay. So what they showed us was the average sales for a real estate agent is $200,000. The average commission on each sale, so the average commission on a $200,000 deal is $6,000 as a distributor, as a real estate agent. They gave us a calculation to figure out how many people we would need to talk to, how many conversations we would need to have each day, and how many closings we would need to have each month. So for me to make that number, I would need to close 25 transactions a year. That means I would need to sell 25 houses a year at an average of $200,000 per house to make $6,000 average per deal, $150,000. But how many people do I need to talk to close that? Okay, so that's one thing that I'm working on right now is an easy calculation for all of you because the numbers at the end of the day are very similar between us and real estate. So I needed to have 6 quality appointments per month to make that happen. How am I going to get 6 quality appointments per month? I'm going to make 12 to 15 calls per day. Calls. Once I make those calls, I'm going to enter them into my database, and they're going to be reminded on a monthly basis how amazing I am by my automatic emails that come from the real estate agency. However, we do not have that, but we have resources that are like that where we could reach out to people very quickly and we could keep better track of our business, at least for me personally. So that was awesome to me. Like, how many people do I need to talk to each day to reach my goal? How many closings do I need to have? That is what we need to do. When you have somebody comes into this business, when you're bringing in new people into this business, are you asking them what their goal is? Are you finding out what they need from you? That's very, very important because someone could have a goal of $500 a month and someone could have a goal of $10,000 a month. These two people are not going to need to put the same effort into this business. You may have the same situation. How much work do I need to put into this business to get where I want to be at the end of the day? Okay. And remember, you're the only one that can hold yourself accountable. I'm just giving you some resources and some ideas. And I will dial this down a little bit, but I was really excited to share this with you guys. Financials. Okay. So thought this was really awesome. When you come into this business, your warm market is your network. All right. And that's where you need to start. My network is not so much my warm market anymore. I have to find different ways to increase my warm market and to build relationships. But you need to remember, as you bring people into this business, they're going to have a huge warm market that they need to tap. They need to get a launch party booked. They need to launch their business, and they need to be open for business every day. So by financials, what they mean is budgeting your business. It's a business. You need to expect to spend a little bit of money to make a little bit of money. Okay, so however, you're not going to spend as much money when you first start as when you're in the business making a great income. Okay, so what they did was They gave us a basic list of free lead generation activities that we can do. And then they gave us a secondary list of lead generation activities that we can do that cost a little bit more money. Those are things that we're going to do after we make more money, right? So we're going to reinvest in our business. And so It Works has a lot of these systems already in place, a little bit different than the real estate agency, but it's so awesome that they're so in line. Number 6 was database. So you need to build it, you need to feed it, and you need to communicate with it. All right. So if you're building a database and you never talk to those people again, what is the point of talking to them to begin with? Okay. So you need to figure out a system that works for you. How many people do you need to talk to each day to make the goal that you want to make? And we'll go over goals that a little bit later. So how many conversations do you need to have each day? How are you going to follow up with them? What system are you going to use to stay in touch with them? And not in a way that you're bugging them 800,000 times, but when you make that first communication, you need to set the expectation. If any of you haven't seen Kiko's video, when you talk to your warm market, you reach out to them and you say, hey, oh my gosh, did you know I just started my own business? And they're going to be like, no, really? What are you doing? And you're going to say, oh my gosh, I just started my own blah, 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 whatever you want to say. I just started with this amazing company, It Works Global, and I have these amazing products. Can I count on you to be a product tester for me? And so I couldn't believe how simple it was. He reminded me how simple it was because he put me on the spot and he made me make some calls while I was sitting there. And what I said was, I called the people that live in this area and I said, hey, did you know that I just started with real estate? And some of them were like, oh my gosh, yeah, I saw that. Congratulations, that's awesome. I was like, I am really, really excited. This has just been a dream of mine for a really long time. Do you know of anybody in the area that's looking to buy or sell? And the few people that I talked to so far were like, no. And I was like, do me a favor. If you hear of anybody, can you give them my information? And they're like, oh my God, yeah, I would love to. Same concept. Like, how simple is that? Stop making it so threatening. Because somebody told you no doesn't mean, sorry, my child is upstairs being tickled. It's because somebody has told you no doesn't mean that everybody's going to tell you no. And a no doesn't mean a no forever. It just means not right now. Just like they might not need to buy or sell their home right now, in a year they might decide to buy or sell their home. In a year they might decide that they need some wraps or might need to lose weight or they've lost their damn mind and they need some confianza. So you need to brand yourself. You are the person they're going to think about when they think about losing weight. You are the person they're going to think about when they think about they need more energy. You are the person they're going to think about when their hair starts falling out. Okay? You're the person they're going to think about, not because you're bugging them to death, but because you've made yourself readily available when they are ready for you. All right? That's what we do. 7 was lead generation. You're going to choose 3 to 4 activities from that list they provided you. And I'm going to make a similar list, and I'm going to be feeding this out to you guys. I think I'm going to do one of these activities a day for the next 11 days. I'm going to feed it out to you guys on the team page to make sure that your notifications are active on the team page. Lead generation. Pick 3 to 4 lead generation activities that you're going to work on. You can't do everything. You can't be a jack of all trades. What works for you is not going to work for everybody. So pick what it is that you want to do in this business because that's what you're going to focus on. Stop picking and choosing here and then trying to be successful at everything. Find a few things that you want to be successful with and run with it. Time blocking. They literally gave us an example of something that you can do every day, and it has 6 a.m., 6:30, 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30, and this is something that Chad and I started doing. We do it every night. I send out a text message. It says what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I have to do it on a daily basis because my schedule is different every day. It works for me. Find something that works for you. Tracking your numbers. How many people did you talk to today? How many people did you follow up with today? And then tracking that. Okay, so how many people are you entering into your system of however you're tracking who you're talking to? Figure out a simple way to make it simplistic for you for follow-up and tracking what you're doing. Because if you have no idea what you did today, if I was your boss and I said, hey, Elsa, what did you do today to run your business? And you can't tell me Like, if they were like, hey, Elsa, where'd you fly today? And you couldn't tell them, that'd be really bad. But, you know, that's the same. When you go and you work for the man, you need to be able to tell him what you did all day, or you're not getting paid, right? So think about that the same way, except in this situation, you are the man. Some scripts and some training was number 10, and 11 was consistency. That's super, super important. We have less than 40 seconds left on here before it cuts us off. So I'm going to dig deeper into these. But I just was really excited to share this with you guys. Consistency is key. If you guys could send me a Facebook message with your why, with your brand, and if you can't send it tonight, send me the date in which you're going to send it, okay? I just want to hold you guys accountable to hold yourself accountable. So I'm really excited. I hope you guys have an amazing night. Jump on the corporate call at 10. Have a blessed week. See ya.